From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Friday, January the 26th, 2024. Heavy fighting continues in Gaza between Israeli troops and Hamas terrorists, and the IDF announced a casualty today. He is 36-year-old Sergeant Major in Reserve Eliran Yeger, killed yesterday in battle. The International Court of Justice issued its ruling today in the case brought against Israel by South Africa, accusing Israel of genocide against the Palestinians in the war in Gaza. The court saying that some of the claims brought by South Africa were plausible, issuing a number of provisional measures against Israel, saying it must take all measures to prevent genocidal acts against the Palestinians, and that it has to report back to the court in 1 month. But the court stopped short of South Africa's demand and did not grant its calls for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu weighed in on the court's decision today.
Israel's commitment to international law is unwavering. Equally unwavering is our sacred commitment to continue to defend our country and defend our people. Like every country, Israel has an inherent right to defend itself. The vile attempt to deny Israel this fundamental right is blatant discrimination against the Jewish state, and it was justly rejected. The charge of genocide leveled against Israel is not only false, it's outrageous, and decent people everywhere should reject it.
Jewish organizations here in the U.S. responded to the ruling as well. B'nai B'rith President Seth Ricklin and CEO Daniel Mariashin said they were troubled that the ICJ asserted that the requirements to grant several South African requests for preliminary steps have been satisfied, and noted that the court announcement dwelt heavily on suffering in Gaza with minimal attention to horrific Palestinian crimes committed against Israelis. CEO of the American Jewish Committee, Ted Deutsch, said it is a travesty that the ICJ did not throw out South Africa's baseless genocide charges against Israel entirely and prevent this unnecessary and libelous spectacle from dragging on for years to come. Nevertheless, Deutsch said the court's order today thwarted South Africa's primary objective in launching this case, to turn the Genocide Convention on its head and use it as an aggressor's charter to prevent Israel from defending its citizens against Hamas's brutality and continued terror. World Jewish Congress President Ronald Lauder said it was a dark day in the pursuit of justice today, and that South Africa's misuse of the International Court of Justice for political gains against Israel is not only a victory for terrorists, but also deals a significant blow to law-abiding nations exercising their inherent right to self-defense. Lauder said, "We call on South Africa and other countries to change course and redirect their focus to advocate for the unconditional release of hostages and hold Hamas accountable for its heinous crimes on and since October the 7th. Well, the families of the American hostages held in Gaza issued a statement today on the eve of International Holocaust Remembrance Day, and noting the ICJ in its ruling today also calling for the immediate release of the hostages held in Gaza. It has been 112 days since Hamas stole our loved ones, they said, many with life-threatening injuries. They have endured extreme abuse, sexual violence, and torture. We have no proof of life, and there has been no medical intervention from international organizations," saying we will not stay silent, urging the world to stand up, speak out, and intervene, saying we need a deal to bring everyone, our mothers, fathers, daughters, and sons, home now. U.S. President Joe Biden released a statement for International Holocaust Remembrance Day, which is being marked tomorrow, Saturday, January the 27th. Biden saying this year the charge to remember the Holocaust, the evil of the Nazis, and the scourge of anti-Semitism is more pressing than ever. On October the 7th, the president said Hamas terrorists unleashed pure, unadulterated evil on the people of Israel, slaughtering approximately 1,200 innocent people and taking hundreds more hostage, including survivors of the Shoah. He noted, "It was the worst atrocity committed against the Jewish people in a single day since the Holocaust. Biden noted the alarming rise of despicable anti-Semitism, he said, at home and abroad since the massacre, calling that unacceptable. The president said, on this somber International Holocaust Remembrance Day, we hold the Jewish community and the people of Israel close in our hearts. We recommit to carrying forward the lessons of the Shoah, to fighting anti-Semitism and all forms of hate-fueled violence, and to bringing the hostages home. And we remember the enduring strength, spirit, and resilience of the Jewish people, even in the darkest of times. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Friday, January the 26th. Live Shabbat services are coming up at 6 o'clock from Central Synagogue, followed by Shabbat services from the Hampton Synagogue. Then it's a concert from the Yemin Orde choir, and then the film Anita B, which tells the story of a young survivor of Auschwitz, followed by a replay from the Hampton Synagogue and a replay from Central. And coming up next, a look at this week's Torah Portion. And that's the JBS News Update for Friday, January the 26th, 2024. I'm Teisha Bader. Shabbat Shalom. Am Yisrael Chai.